Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuning in to NBL1 Round 6 action here at the Den in Eltham. My name is Tyson Wheeler, and I'll shortly be joined by the CEO of the Eltham Wildcats Basketball Club, Greg Jeffers. And this afternoon, it is the Eltham Wildcats taking on the Ballarat Miners. First up, earlier this afternoon, it was Ballarat who got up by 8 points in the women's match, but there is still 40 minutes of basketball action to come. It is two sides who will be looking to get a win here this afternoon, because Ballarat currently sits 6-0. They are the top of the table so far. The Ballarat Miners, they had a good win last night against Kilsyth, a quality side, 87-71. The Eltham Wildcats, on the other hand, well, they probably haven't had quite the success that they'd like to at 2-6 so far. Had a tough loss to Frankston by 11 points, 86-75 last night down in Frankston. But they're back at home now, and they sit 17th on the ladder. And they take on, as I said, the first place side. It has all the makings for what should be a pretty dominant display by the Ballarat Miners, but Eltham Wildcats certainly will give their very best here in front of their home crowd for what is their third home game of the season. As I said, I would be joined by the Eltham Wildcats CEO, Greg Jeffers, who is alongside me now in commentary. Greg Jeffers, as I said, probably, you know, you'd think a bit of one-way traffic this afternoon, but Eltham will certainly try their best to stem the flow of what is a really class side in Ballarat.
Ballarat, they're an outstanding team, aren't they? I think start of the year, maybe didn't get respected as much as they probably should. All the talk was Kilsyth. And Ballarat, over the first couple of rounds and then continuing into this around that one-third part of the season, they have become the outstanding team. And doing the number over Kilsyth, that was certainly a highly anticipated matchup. Ballarat to come out with the goods. The Eltham team, look, it's all part of a journey. It's a process, and I know they're disappointed with last night's loss. One, they probably were in a position to grab there at certain stages. But for these guys, it is a journey. It's their first step up to this level. And they're learning. They're learning and they're developing. And some people are finding where they're finding their level. Some people are finding their feet and growing out of it, and some others aren't. And certainly today represents the best chance to prove themselves against a high-quality Ballarat team. I mean, how could we not mention a 63-point win last week? I think it was against Albury.
Well, that just typifies the strength that they have in their side. 126-63 against a really class side, I think, in Albury. They stopped someone like Ikenja Bosley, who's putting up heaps of points. And yeah, it was a really class effort. And they, defeated Knox 22 points. Dandenong took it to them. They won by 7 points, did Ballarat. In general terms with that, Ballarat are a high-scoring team. And to Eltham's credit, as much as their record sits at 2 and a few, 2 and 6, 2 and 7, thereabouts there. Defensively, they've generally been okay. They haven't, as a general rule, haven't got huge scores penciled in up against them. They actually have struggled probably more so at the offensive end. And Albury might be a little bit the other way. They are a high-scoring, high-running type team, but aside from Albury last week, they have had some points put up against them as well. So who knows? It could suit Eltham a little bit as the wondrous referee Troy Earl comes over to say hello. And we would like to congratulate Jess Baker as she makes her debut on an NBL1 men's game. And as I said, we have Troy Earl on the match and also Ian Knight. So an outstanding lineup. Jess Baker has worked her craft through the junior ranks, through the youth league levels and Big V. And here she is. Josh Sykes usually breezes through these jump balls, but he will be met by, I assume, one Majuk, who, if you just look at the size of him, he's just an outrageously tall player. Oh, sorry, rather Majuk. I don't know why I said Majuk. I was thinking last night. Sorry, mate. Yeah. Dengakuth, rather. You had me checking my data. I don't know why I was doing it. We tip and Josh gets the win with Doyle with possession. Last night, Majuk would have taken it to him. But Dengakuth, rather. And as we start this afternoon's play, it is the Eltham Wildcats who do get that first possession. Josh Sykes was the beneficiary of that first tap from Jess Baker, the referee. Now, Jeremy McKay goes to the glass. Josh Sykes flies in for the rebound. It's Sam Short who pushes with the transition ball from the defense of Ben Waldron. Wasn't much of a match for Sam Short. Look for a more disciplined output from Sykes today. Teched out of the game last night, fouled out on regular occasion of late. He needs to play the whole game. He needs to be playing 33, 34, 35 minutes for this Eltham team.
As he gets a nice find to Bradbury. He's been good from that short corner type area, Bradbury, these last few weeks.
He has. These last 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I've been very impressed with Simon Bradbury.
They've adjusted.
And it's
Joshua
Joshua Fox who tried his best to get it over the defender.
Defensively, Eltham should have enough to cause Ballarat some more problems than other teams might.
Forcing his way to the basket. Josh Sykes can't get it to drop. Quick transition ball. Kwani gives it to the man we're speaking of, Denga Kuth.
Oh!
Rebound. Josh Sykes slams it into the glass. And Eltham regain possession. Ben Waldron now. Does he send it inside? No, he retreats. Gives it to Adam Doyle, NBL caliber point guard. Back to Waldron. Bradbury with the high pick. Waldron now. Bradbury to Jeremy McKay. Can he hit the scoreboard? No, he can't. Well, fighting for the ball is Kwani who ended up the beneficiary. Quick transition ball. Josh Sykes, does he come to present? No, it's given to Akuth, who gets his first slam of the afternoon. The game, you feel like you could definitely bring in a fair bit if he keeps those dunks going.
Close above the rim, yeah.
Highest scorers for Ballarat. They'll be looking to someone like Jerry Evans Jr. who's been putting up 21. Adam Doyle, with the three. And Eltham now with a 1 point margin. 2 minutes into this first quarter of play.
He won a big one today. Frankston did a good job on Doyle last night. He certainly was a factor in it, but Frankston made life difficult. And they'll need him to shine today.
Aside from the class, wait a minute, Aku trying from three, knocks it down. He can play above the rim, but he certainly can throw it down from three as well, and he just proved that then. He has 5 points. Adam Doyle looking to meet his match.
The other way.
Way too short. Simon Bradbury reaches down, all 7 foot. Pratt gathers the ball and puts it in for 2. As I was saying, apart from the class, it is the playing side of Ballarat. If you look at their coach's box, they have Rob Baker, the assistant coach, but has an extra 2 points there. But Brendan Joyce leads them in this year as their coach, and he is one of the most experienced and high-quality coaches in Australian basketball. He's been involved both as a player and a coach for many of years, and he is the director of coaching at Ballarat, and now he's coaching this NBL1 side. Simon Bradbury turns to the basket, puts it in for 2, an athletic play from Simon Bradbury.
Beautifully weighted pass from Doyle and terrific finish from Bradbury. Only 12 months ago, he would have struggled to finish that stuff around the rim. To his credit, big improvement this year in that area. Sykes out running, good boards from Waldron.
Jerry Evans Jr. tried from long range, couldn't get it to land as Eltham now with the ball. Josh Sykes looking to make some room for him inside. Now Jeremy McKay, evenly poised so far, 9 apiece. McKay is forced out of his hands. Lost possession, so no cross-court violation. 9 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Flopping warning to come. Adam Doyle with the ball. Finds Bradbury. Can he finish? Comes back underneath. Knocked out of court. It'll be a shot clock violation.
Ball just hit the ring, didn't it?
And the referee will just give the flopping warning.
I think we're all thinking Ian Knight might have been going in to say that the ball hit the ring, but no, he was giving a flop warning instead.
Referee just speaking to Trevor Lee and explaining why the shot clock violation was given. Nonetheless, it's Ballarat with the ball. Akuth gives it to Evans Jr. Now to Short. See him Short, plays with the Melbourne United. Josh Sykes matches up now against Evans. He tries, can't get it to go. And now they're out here. Ben Waldron heading inside with some defense. He finishes! The foul came from Kwani. And Waldron, as his parents enter the facility.
Great timing.
Yeah, great timing indeed.
Just have to stand them in the tunnel. Get them to walk in each offensive play will be right.
And a nice crowd developing here. Pretty quiet in that first match this afternoon, but definitely a few filing in now, which is always good to see. And Waldron finishes with his 3-point play, and all of a sudden, Eltham leading by 3 points. Adam Doyle, as he so often does, gathers the ball but knocks it out of court.
I talked before, I think defensively we're well positioned compared to a lot of other teams to take Ballarat. But I also think you've also got that other little mental factor that last night was a little bit like a final for Ballarat. You come up against the big dogs in Kilsyth, someone that everyone heavily rated. And then turn up to play a middle to lower base team in Eltham. That's what I was mental play.
Yep. Similar to our earlier match this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Ballarat Sam Short puts it in for 3. Ballarat, as I said, top-ranked side, haven't lost a game. Come up against a side that's 2-6 in Eltham. They would feel like it should be bit of a walk in the park, really, but Eltham have proven so far that they can put up a fight, and it's 12 apiece. Josh Sykes cutting through, gathers the ball, knocked out of court, and it'll be Ballarat ball.
This confuses me at times when we make passes at Big's ankles. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, not the lowest to the ground of all the players out there. He's Big Bradbury. Short now, as I mentioned, Melbourne United player. He gave it to Joshua Fox. Now it's, I think it's quite, Jerry Evans Jr. rather. Short with the ball. Denge Kuth set the on-ball screen. Short with an open shot. Can't get it to fall. Adam Doyle now. McKay sets a high pick. What does Doyle do? Lefts McKay open. Probably not the highest quality three-point shooter. McKay off the glass is fouled. A tough finish was a great description because that's exactly what it was, and he'll head to the line for one more.
Used his body well there to protect the shot, generated the contact.
It's been a bit of a mixed bag for McKay. He had a really strong game against Dandenong last week. Didn't really back it up on the Sunday against Northwest Tassie, where Eltham went down 100 to 95, 5-point loss. But yeah, as I said on that Dandenong match, he's proven that he can be a real threat at the offensive end. Heading inside, it's a Kuth. Or rather, it was...
They're off again, 3-on-2.
It was Evans Jr.
Kwani is back.
Josh Sykes, big jump.
They're the ones you need to finish.
Evans Jr. knocked it out of court. Now it's out of Eltham hands. So it will be Ballarat ball as Fisher. Another boy who's risen through the Ballarat ranks to play at this NBL1 level. Enters the court. A lot of talent through that Ballarat juniors. I mentioned Sham Short, player that's played the Country Vic, played at state and national level. Leading the way out there for Ballarat. Sam Whelan enters the court. He'll take Ben Waldron off. Waldron has 3 points so far, including that 3-point play. It was where he found his scores. Now Doyle and Whelan will match up in the 1-2 spot.
I like this. I like this. Waldron's been good.
I think he'll match up well against Fisher, who's on the court for the Miners.
But allows, yeah, but
Prompted
also,
the decision from
also gives you more 3-point. Sam's got a history of shooting the ball well, so frees him up in that 2 spot.
And so at the free throw line,
I just felt last night he's forced into that 1 is the back up to Doyle. It makes life incredibly difficult. Someone that's got a shot like he does. This just frees him up a little bit, I think. Gives him the opportunity.
Sykes gives it to Doyle. Whelan coming around. Bradbury represents at the top. Now it's McKay. What does he decide to do? Forcing his way inside. Had a laneway to the basket and to decide the protest.
He just likes contact, McKay.
Yeah, no, he takes it well. Whelan forced to match up against Fox. A bit of a mismatch, but Whelan trying his best to keep him out. And now it's Kwani. Kwani! Knocks it in from 3.
He's torn this place apart playing for Waverley in Youth League going back a few years now. But I'll never forget him coming out and torching an Eltham Youth League team here.
McKay again has 3 defenders to work with, manages to keep on the ball through the legs to Doyle, steps back, defense there, Doyle can't get it to go, Bradbury, Sykes and McKay fight for the rebound. That's what you want to see, fighting for every rebound when you're playing against a side with the quality of Ballarat. McKay stepping back, puts it in for 2, can't get it to go.
And Fox finds Short.
Back to Fox now.
Straight up for Bradbury.
Some clean hands from Eltham, but it falls out to Tristan Fisher. And then it's Kwani once again. Akuth set the pick. Oh, heading underneath, it was a good play. And 2 points was the result for Kwani.
19 to 16. Certainly been competitive.
2.5 minutes to go in this first quarter of play. Doyle loses touch of it. Fisher was there with the defense.
Sykes is eyeing this
Whelan
off.
Chasing down Short.
And that's just that presence, but well played by Ballarat. But that's that presence of Josh Sykes. And that's why it's so important he stays clean.
Gets his first foul of the afternoon, does Josh Sykes. Substitution made. It's Lingard who enters the court for the Miners in exchange for Fox, who's just had the 2 points. Ovi Magbegor, a man who has outplayed all expectations this season, I'd say. He's been really strong. Has just an under-23 men's sort of player over the last few seasons, stepped up to this league and shown himself to be a really high-caliber player.
Certainly has. Certainly has. He's got the physicality to do it. He's just allowed to play more physically here than he is at youth league level, which suits him better. But he's done extremely well, Ovi. Coach showing more and more faith in him too.
Akuth at the line made the first. Can he make the second? No. Megbiger pulls down his rebound.
Speaking of him,
straight onto the stat sheet.
It's good though, coming from youth league at the start of the year where he wasn't even in the team, and here he is now getting a run in the first quarter against the best team in the league.
Whelan, what does he do? Has a couple of defenders to work with, gives it back to Bradbury. It was a good pass. Bradbury can't convert. Back to Whelan, back on the left hand now. Steps back. Once again, a few defenders to work with. Puts it up. The rebound comes down to Ballarat through the hands of Kwani. He'll do the dribbling work. Ovi Magbagor comes to meet him. Magbagor did a good job. Got a hand in there. It'll be a jump ball violation, and Ballarat will regain the possession. Just under 2 minutes to go.
Ovi, no expressions, just works hard, gets results.
Eltham leading the rebound count 11-8 so far. Short, pulls up, mid-range jumper, looked all right, came down. Ovi Magbagor fights for it, but in the end, it was Lingard who put it up, was fouled.
I don't think you can claim goaltending. It was yet to even get above the ring, I wouldn't have thought at that point.
As the referee tells the Miners that exact fact. So it is Lingard at the line. Shooting 100% rather from the free throw line, so expect some quality free throws here. Can't make the first.
Commentator's curse right there. Tyson?
Shooting around 2 or 3 points per game is Lingard. He makes his first of the match as Justin Ava enters the court in exchange for Adam Doyle. Substitution made for both sides. Akuth heads off in exchange for Fox.
Saw the best game out of Ava last week. We were talking about players that start there, some that are rising, some that have been challenged. Ava was certainly challenged at this level early in the season, but we saw the Ava of old last week.
Whelan gives it to Magbagor, has Fox to work with at the defensive side. Magbagor gives it back to Whelan. Fisher applying the defense. Plenty of hands. Whelan forced his way inside off the glass. It's a nice finish from Sam Whelan.
There's a fair bit of contact on as he turned the corner, wasn't there? But
I think he'll take the 2 points rather.
Absolutely. Good for his confidence there too.
Yep. Coach puts the trust in him, gets him on with 4 or 5 minutes to work with in this first quarter. It's 2 points there for Joshua Fox. There's 4 points now to Fox. It's a 5-point game. Respectable margin in favour of the Miners so far. Ava with the ball finds Bradbury. Too tall, puts it in for 2 points.
Good use of the screen by Ava, created that space, and Bradbury created the separation. It's good find.
They are lacking a bit of height at the moment, the Miners, considering how much height they do have sitting on the bench right now. So if you can make Bradbury have some space underneath, better give it to him. Magbagor applies the defense. It was a good finish in the end for Lingard.
It's good by Ovi. Forced a contested shot, and no one on that weak side to rebound for Eltham.
Ava. Sam Short matches up against a couple of defenders there. In the end, Lingard knocked it out. Coming down.
Not today. We saw him get away with that a couple of times last week, but Ballarat too long, too athletic in there to allow that to occur.
Sam Short, the captain of the Miners, with 8 seconds remaining in this first quarter of basketball. What does he decide to do? Heads towards the basket. Bradbury fouls. Short will head to the line for what should be 2 free throws made for Sam Short.
Both substitutions cancelled.
3.5 seconds remaining. Still a chance for a score for Eltham if they can maybe pull down a rebound or kick it out from an inbound. Shooting 67%, making 2/3 of his free throws. Makes the first for Sam Short. 6-point game. And he has 7 points now to Sam Short, averaging 15.5. Sam Whelan with 3-2-1, gives it to Ava, runs out of time surely. Yeah, he does. And that will be the end of the first quarter. It's a quality performance from both sides, considering the difference in ladder rankings for these two sides. They match up well. Well, they've proven to match up well so far in this first quarter, and it's Ballarat who go into the first quarter, go into the second quarter rather, with a 7-point margin.
Yeah, they've just we know they've got lots of weapons, Ballarat, And I think Eltham has competed extremely well at the start of this game. But at the same time, Ballarat, you know, little offensive rebounds and opportunities they've created. They've looked good, Ballarat. They are a class outfit. As we have a quick look here and at the stat line.
As you're looking at your statistics on the screen, it's 11 rebounds each, a few more Miners assists, a couple of steals for the Miners as well, and a block each.
Quani and Sam Short with 7 apiece. He has looked good, Sam Short. Used the on-ball screen extremely well, and it's a good challenge for him going up against an experienced NBL point guard in Adam Doyle. And for Eltham, pleasing to see Josh Sykes only with 1 foul at quarter time, which hasn't been the case for a couple of weeks. So that is a pleasing sign because they do. It's
well, particularly against this matchup as well.
They do. Yeah, he's got the athleticism to go with the Ballarat lineup, and Bradbury will do a good job, but his athleticism is limited.
Did make the semi-finals last year in Siebel, SCABL did Ballarat. Lost to Geelong pretty convincingly. Eltham, for those that have been following along with the season and tuning in this afternoon, will probably know they were runners-up in Big V. Enter up into this high level of basketball. Like I said, prior to the match getting underway, haven't quite had the success they'd like and have lost a couple of close ones, not least of which Waverley by 5 points, Northwest Tassie by 5 points, Ringwood only by 5 or so points. So they've shown that they can be a class side when everything's connecting. And I want to replicate that this afternoon.
It's just been clutch situations early on in this year, hasn't it, that the experience of some of these opponents have shone through. But 7 points in it with Ballarat. They've started well here.
And so Ava now. Eltham with that first possession of this second quarter. McKay backs up against Fox. Whelan still on the court, as is Ava and Magbegor. Whelan throws it up, can't get it to go off the glass, looking for Magbegor to gather the offensive rebounds. Nothing goes. Comes back down to the Miners. Short with the ball again. Lingard just assisting in some ways. So left with some room, now driving in was Reitman. It's a foul call. It'll be 2 free throws for Josh Fox. The foul on Magbegor. That's his second personal foul. Another player that they're wanting to just make sure he stays disciplined throughout this match and can play out the full 40 minutes. Of course, we say a big happy Mother's Day to all the mums watching out there. Plenty have come in this afternoon to Eltham as well. Fox can't make the second free throw. Another offensive rebound for the Ballarat side.
2 old mates here, isn't it? Sam Short on Sam Whelan.
2 very close friends. Sam and Sam. Played many years of country basketball together. The 2 points are made.
Finish. Long for a point guard in this league, isn't he?
Yeah.
Good size and length.
Sam Whelan recently attended Shorty, as he's referred to, his 21st birthday after his somewhat successful Melbourne United season. Played a few minutes in those final encounters. In the end, it was the Wildcats, Perth Wildcats, who got up with the win. And now, back at the NBL1 level, it is Whelan with the ball. McKay swings through and cuts through the keyway. Ava flicks to McKay. Magbegor had some space initially. Fox came to D, gives some D. Oh, knocked it out.
It's been a couple of those for Eltham. You look at it, there's probably been 3 or 4 of those around the rim that, if they bounce the right way, we're sitting in probably about a 4-point difference. But instead, that's where Ballarat's been classed. They've got those finishes when they've needed to. And so we've got the 10-point lead to Ballarat.
If you're thinking there's an issue with the camera, it's not. They are all wearing pink socks. As Ava heads to the basket and puts it in for 2, and they are, of course, raising money for the BCNA which we, of course, encourage all those watching out there to donate to a very worthy cause in the BCNA celebrating on this Mother's Day. Stepped out of court, so we'll be Eltham with the ball.
Of course, with Mother's Day, the local small business, local family in Boutique Styling by Liz is supplying free flowers to each of the mums here at half-time today. Great to have a small business involved in NBL1 and supporting the cause.
Jeremy McKay at the elbow presents. Now he turns. What does he decide to do? Backing his way in. Yeah, it's a tough one to work with. A foul called. It'll be 2 free throws. Was he shooting? Must have been.
Yep.
And so Denga Kuth re-enters the court. Had 6 points in that first quarter of basketball, did a Kuth. Justin Ava heads to the bench. Just has the 2 points so far. Okay, you can't make the first. Some needed free throws when you're lining up against Ballarat. Makes the second. Doyle re-enters the court.
Back to 7 points.
Evans Jr. And
that rotation did a good job. They were put in late in that first quarter and held until early in the second. Still only a 7-point lead to Ballarat.
Dunmore enters the court for Ballarat as well. Fox heading into the basket, puts it in for 2.
Didn't have the bodies, Eltham, to go with that physicality, did they?
No.
That's a strong body getting through.
Doyle gives it to Shaffett, playing his early minutes here in this second quarter. Gives it to Bradbury. It's a good pass. Couldn't finish though, Bradbury. It comes down to a Kuth. Oh, fights for it, McKay. Oh, goes around
Second
the back.
efforts, third efforts.
Oh my goodness, what a
And
play.
they've got it. They've got possession.
And the Eltham crowd are loving that sort of desperation from Jeremy McKay. Adam Doyle, can he finish? Bounces around and finishes for 2 points. Jeremy McKay.
It all comes down to Jeremy McKay's second, third efforts, doesn't it? And not to take out Mitch Lee diving in front of us then too.
Jeremy McKay is a fighter if ever there was one. And he, as we see, he loves the physicality of this level of basketball. And that was on full display there. So Evans Jr. inbounds to Fox. Fox has 6 points so far. Akuth gives it to Short. Now Fox looking to make it 9. Too long. Bradbury fights for it and gathers a rebound.
That high.
Well done by Bradbury. Akuth was there. Now it's Shaffett. Looks to go back on the left hand. It wasn't pretty, but he gets the 2 points off the glass.
He got there. And it's back to 5.
He's back to 5, as you say. It was 7 at quarter time, so Eltham well and truly sticking with it. Now Evans Jr. There's some good defense from Mitch Lee to get his hand there. This is a tough one. What does he do, McKay?
Dear.
Yeah, never really looked likely. There was 2 defenders there. It was a tough one to work with.
It was almost like a junior's toss on transition,
Yeah,
wasn't it? The big rebounds and throws it.
Bit of a hoik.
Now
Dunmore.
Good effort by Shaffett, but Ballarat too good.
Adam Doyle. Bradbury once again. Gives it to Doyle. Had some space this time. Was far left. Falls down. Joshua Fox with the ball. Akuth. Yeah, it was well done. Akuth slams it in for 2. Fox had the little fake head. And at left, Akuth wide open. It's back out to 9 points. Jeremy McKay has the ball. Shaffett cut through. Doyle just manages to keep it in court.
We're into single digits.
Yeah, should be a foul there. No basket. Doyle will head to the free throw line for 2. The foul was on Sam Short. And substitution made. It is Kwani who enters the court for the man that just fouled. After making his first personal foul. So he makes the 2 free throws. Does Adam Doyle. It's back to 7 points.
I do need to make mention, Tyson, that there is size issues with the T-shirts for the Eltham coaches on the men's and women's team. Hence, we did have this T-shirt supplied, but sizes have been an issue for our coaches today. So
didn't really get it away in the end, and now it's back in Eltham hands. Mitch Lee gives it to Doyle, stepping back. McKay comes to present, edge of the keyway. He'll have 3 defenders who'll probably collapse, but instead it's just the one. Gets underneath.
There's
McKay
2
keeps
physical
fighting.
blokes going at each other, wasn't there?
Shaffett backs up, again. Puts it in for 2.
And Jeremy sucked him in eventually, I think. Oh, no.
Yeah, foul on Jeremy McKay.
Jeremy got the
rebound.
foul.
Yeah.
I must have just seen the reaction afterwards.
Whilst I didn't see the contact, maybe those at home can go back and have a look at the replay. There was a bit going on underneath. Looked a bit both ways, but maybe McKay just took it a little too far in the end. Foul call will be Ballarat ball. 5 points the difference. Good quality basketball on display here at the Eltham Wildcats basketball stadium. Now heading inside, no foul called again. Not that either the Ballarat bench
They're out running. Coverage by Short on Sykes.
Really low pass, rolled into Josh Sykes. Spin move. Oh, McKay, another rebound. Flicks it out to Mitch Lee. Shaffett looking for more points.
Drops
Falls
it.
in for Shaffett. He has 6 points now, a handy 6 points.
They're just being, just being a little annoying. Eltham hanging around. 3-point difference. Ballarat doing what they need to.
Hello.
As I said.
3 ball from Dunmore.
Just every time they need someone to step up, just extend it, they do.
Doyle. His match was Kwani. Now it's Shaffett looking to make it 9. Dave Shaffett lapping it up as he moves his way along the sideline.
That's the sort of thing he was recruited for.
And
Got the ability to shoot the 3.
I think he'd be first to admit he probably hasn't been able to really capitalise on his shooting skills so far this season, but certainly proving it. Dunmore does more. Puts it in for 3. Josh Sykes is fouled off the glass for 2. Quality basketball at both ends. It was a 3 down that end. Josh Sykes with a 3-point play down the other.
And since that little push and shove between McKay and Fox, just ramped up a gear. Offensively, certainly. It's
physicality has sparked Eltham into gear in recent weeks, I've found. Plenty of physicality last night. Took on Frankston. Dan Trist made his NBL1 debut. Can't get the free
I'm sure that him and Josh Sykes are all that good of friends, judging by what we saw last night.
They were beforehand, they weren't afterwards, that's the truth. But rivalries, competitiveness, that's what we like to see. And so Dunmore back cuts, Doyle keeps an eye on him. Works his way around the screen, McGregor fights for it, gives it to Doyle. Can he get there? Dives on it. Shaffett, can he keep it in court? Managed to do so. Hustling is Eltham Wildcats. Crowd once again appreciating. Ben Waldron gives it back to Shaffett. Does he go again? 12 points on offer for Dave Shaffett in this first half of play. A foul called will be on Josh Sykes. And Sykes has 2 fouls now. And it will be 2 free throws, is it, for Ballarat?
Lingard, reward for hard work there. Made sure he got the box out. Made sure he got the contact on Sykes. Usually it's when people have got a little bit of trouble with Sykes, when they've given him some space. His athleticism usually is able to shine, but to Lingard's credit, got contact.
So 2 bonus free throws here for Lingard. Makes the first, pushes it out to a 5-point game. And he makes the second as well. And with that 6-point game, Eltham are actually leading this second quarter because it was 7 points at quarter time. So Eltham Wildcats have done well. Doyle gives it to Shaffett. Shaffett, a man that shot 9 points here in this second quarter of basketball, gives it to Magbegor. What does Magbegor do? Gives it to Sykes. Sykes turns, puts it in for 2 points to Josh Sykes. Brings it back to a 4-point game. 2 minutes to go. Shaffett fighting for it. Fisher manages to hold on to a Lingard. Kwani presents. Doyle keeping an eye on him again. Sykes now matches up with Kwani. Inside, it's a mismatch. Lingard backing his way in. Puts it up off the glass. Fighting for the rebound. No foul called. Magbegor ends up with it. And on the ground is Lingard. Doyle gives it to Waldron. Some hustle plays from both ends. Eltham probably leading the way in that respect. And now a man that was just momentarily on the ground gets an intercept. Fox. Fisher cutting to the basket. Gets the ball now. A couple of defenders to work with. Gives it to Fox. Cutting inside was Lingard. And now it's Kwani. Pulls up from mid-range. Knocks it in for 2 points.
Not much more you can do as Ben Waldron there. You want to force those contested jumpers.
9 points for Kwani now. So he's trailing only behind Sam Short, who has 10. Akuth has 8, leading the scorers for the Miners. Now Doyle found Shaffett, looking to make it 12. Can't do so.
Athleticism over the top of Ovi there from Kwani. Kwani. Coast to coast for the finish. Just want to hold fort here at 8 points. Ballarat just had a good last minute. Eltham just want to hold the fort here if they can. Keep this lead to single digits going into half time. Doyle's the man to do that. No. He was looking for Sykes for the alley there, which has been a rock steady play for them this year.
Been a feature most definitely of their offense throughout the season. And now with 11 seconds remaining on the clock, it's Sam Short, the captain, with the ball. Magbegor comes to apply some defense. It's 8 points the difference. Can Short make it 10? Foot violation. I thought it was inadvertent, but nonetheless, 2 seconds is what they have to work with. Can they get a shot away? Fisher will have the inbound. But first, Coach Joyce.
Why not?
Take a time out.
Got one up his sleeve.
Why not? Yeah, that's right.
No better person to, no better coach to organise the shot in his last 2 seconds than Coach Joyce.
Started his national coaching role in 2001 with the Boomers, and assistant coach. Took the Australian Opals to World Championships in Turkey for a bronze medal. Gold medal with the Boomers at the 2006 Commonwealth Games, as I fondly remember. And yeah, very experienced coach. Now Director of Coaching at Ballarat.
Back home, I think.
Yes, back home indeed.
Home.
Yep.
It's good. It's whether it's players, it's coaches, or anyone, to have someone from your program go through to the highest of levels and be able to then return home, and albeit in a job of employment, but a chance for him to give back to his association as well. Certainly pulled together a very, very good team for Ballarat Miners.
Joined alongside.
Just got to love the crowd, the comments and the smiles that we receive from the spectators here at Eltham from time to time.
As some commentators out there in the business probably have worse hecklers than we do, but they're always a bit of fun here at Eltham. 2 seconds to work with. The inbound will come from Evans Jr. Finally spots Fox. Clock starts. Tries from three. Far too short. And as we head into half-time, it is the Eltham Wildcats, the home team, trailing behind the Ballarat Miners by 8 points. Well, it's been a quality first half of basketball, as it was in the women's match as well. Eltham, yeah, they're trailing by 8 points, but they've shown signs, certainly, throughout this first half of basketball, because they're coming up against the top-ranked side, and they've played quite well, you'd say.
Oh, look, I'd certainly be very happy if I was in the Eltham camp at the moment. 8 points down at this point, probably, you know, I spoke about a couple of finishes in there that you would expect them to have made. That's probably the major disappointment, but they're getting a mix of scorers for Eltham. But with that, Bradbury, Doyle, McKay, Shaffett, all with 7, 8, 9 points. A couple of contributors. You've still got Sykes. Sykes has been a lot more disciplined, in my opinion, in this first half. Stands himself in a position where he can at least run more than 30 minutes in the game, which is important to the Eltham lineup. But Ballarat, often you look in these scenarios and you start talking about the team that's staying competitive, but that's not to take away from Ballarat at all. They're an outstanding outfit, and Joyce has been able to get different players a look. Kwani's made some buckets over the top of hands that there's not much more a defender could do. And Ben Waldron's been the victim of it, unfortunately, a couple of times. Sam Short, I think particularly at the start, was a class act running the one. So we're all set for a good second half. I think it's probably, to Eltham's credit, just throughout the season so far, with the exception of probably another Wadding game and the Geelong game, they've generally been competitive. We spoke earlier about them having lost a couple that maybe they should have won, and that's just a little bit of experience. But here they are against the top-ranked side. They can be pretty proud, I think, of their first half performance.
Similar stat line across the two sides so far, both shooting around 50% from the field, which is high-quality shooting. Rebounds 18 apiece, as you can see on your screen. Assists, well, it's 9 to 6, pretty close. Steals, a few more turnovers for Eltham, which might come to sting them later on in the game. But at this stage, it is first ranked side taking on 17th ranked side, and it's just 8 points is all that separates. And Eltham, with the home crowd support, will be looking to come out firing in this second half of basketball. Plenty of action to come. 20 minutes of basketball left. I look forward to seeing you then. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the NBL1 action here in Eltham. Thanks for tuning in. It's been an impressive performance by both sides so far this afternoon. Eltham Wildcats trailing by just 8 points. As I've said a few times, Eltham, sitting on 17th place on the ladder, taking on Ballarat Miners, who sit top of the table with a 6-0 record. Eltham 2-6. Had a tough loss to Frankston last night by 11 points, but have shown so far this half that they can take the fight up to Ballarat because they're only trailing by 8 points. So equally, Ballarat have put on a solid performance as well. If we look at the scoring for Ballarat, it's been 10 points. Evans Jr. Kwani has 11 points as well. Sam Short, Captain Sam Short, has 10. Fox has found 6. Looking down at the other end for Eltham, Shaffett has come alive with 9 points, including a really important 3-ball during that second quarter. Doyle has 7. Bradbury has 8. And Simon Bradbury re-enters the court now for the Wildcats. Look, there's 20 minutes of basketball action to come. My feeling is that Eltham can continue what they've shown themselves, because in that first quarter, they trailed by 7 points. In the second quarter, however, they only lost that second quarter by just a single point. And so they're not falling away by any stretch of the imagination. Trevor Lee, the coach, would have taken him in at half-time and been trying to rally the troops to get them to come out here firing for this third quarter of basketball. My name's Tyson Wheel, and I'm once again joined by CEO of the Eltham Wildcats Basketball Club, Greg Jeffers. Greg, it's just 8 points the difference. Eltham well and truly still in it. Crowd developing here at Eltham, and they're looking set to watch this. They're set to look upon this third quarter rather, with plenty of anticipation. Certainly.
Ballarat will be looking to ramp this up a level, I feel. Eltham has taken it to them, and Ballarat will be looking to take up another gear, I would have thought.
Fox to do that.
3.
Whack.
Bang. There just seems more intent for Ballarat getting through that set.
It did seem that way. They feel like they're already just turning it up a gear just in this first 30 seconds. Adam Doyle, can Eltham match it? That's the thing.
Eltham just can't be comfortable with being an 8-point difference. Doyle
offensive
set that
foul
up.
Called. Doyle.
I feel like Fox just copped a contact where it doesn't feel comfortable.
So they'll have 14 seconds on the shot clock. Court wiper's going to work.
Not taking their time to get off, just quietly,
No.
but anyway.
Come on.
We just like laughs out of the referees when we get their attention. Anyway, back to the action. Sykes
has the ball. 6 seconds remaining on shot clock. Bradbury.
Bradbury.
Hello! Over the top of the hand of Denga Kuth, and puts it in for Sue.
Goodness gracious, I've never seen him look at the ring from that far out. But this is ramped up. There is intent at the start of this third quarter.
Yep. Oh, hello. Heading inside was Evans Jr. Kuth fights the rebound, keeps it in. Evans Jr. now just inside the range.
Oh, there's a little ball on the court.
That would have almost been a certain 2 points.
This does not happen often, but there is a little party going on in the corner, and a small orange ball flies on. And our game commissioner will go take care of that, because that doesn't happen often.
Eltham is the family club, and so we certainly welcome all families to come to the stadium.
I think that's an 8-month-old at fault there.
Well, we suspect that he didn't have any deceitful sort of plans building up for that ball drop, as it were. So, Adam Doyle has the ball now. A couple of defenders. Goes back to Waldron. Does he take the shot? No, instead drives.
Turns the corner.
Fouls. To the line for 2. And the foul was on number 17, Kwani.
I can report grandmother has stepped in on that scenario in the corner with the ball.
No malice, I'm sure.
No. Waldron hits the first.
And so it's back to 8. And he shave another point off the margin. Does exactly that. So it's back to 7 now. Margin that it was at quarter time. A couple of quarters left of basketball here to come at Eltham. It's the third home game of the NBL1 season here at the Eltham Wildcats Den. Adam Doyle fights for the ball with Kwani, and now Fox. He had a 3 early on in this final quarter, gives it to Evans Jr., spots Fox underneath, and it's an easy 2 points on the reversal for Fox.
Nothing for the reply. McKay. I'd like to see Bradbury separate off that a little better.
Waldron in the corner. Knocks in the 3. Does Ben Waldron. He only has 5 points, makes it 8 now.
We're back to 6 points. I just felt like Ballarat looked early like they were going to just set the tone here, but to Eltham's credit,
Sykes pulls it down. Back to 6 points.
You'll get away with that against most teams, but not an Eltham with Josh Sykes on the floor.
Josh Sykes trying to force his way in. A couple of defenders to work with. Ballarat ends up being the beneficiaries. It was some good D there.
But likewise, against most teams, Josh Sykes would jump over the top and dunk it. However, with a Jerry Evans Jr. type athlete on the floor, that wasn't to be. Full credit to the referees on letting that sort of contact at both ends go right then. There's
both
you want that contact. You want a little bit of contact. You want them contesting in the air. Let the athletes play. Good deflection by Sykes. Just disrupt
it's good
the offense.
For Sykes, who's known for his contact over recent weeks anyway.
Well, yeah.
Although not always contact for the fouls. Sometimes
unfortunately, they're just being cheap.
Else.
I think they've been cheap fouls, unfortunately, that he's been given away at times. And today, he hasn't, which is pleasing.
Yep. So Short negotiating his way into the keyway. Doyle fighting hard to keep the defence contact there. Josh Sykes and Bradbury trying their best, but Evans Jr. pops it over the top to Chew. Seven minutes remaining in this third quarter of basketball. 8 points is the difference. Adam Doyle gives it to Waldron. He's hit a 3 already in this third quarter. Left's open, puts it in, surely an easy 2. Bradbury with the finish.
Tip in by Bradbury. It's a good drive by Waldron. Lane opened up for him. Didn't finish what he should have, but Bradbury gets the finish for him.
Underneath, it's 2 points for Kwani. Bradbury has 10 points. Kwani now has 13. Kwani leads all scorers. Waldron, McKay presenting inside, has Fox for defence. Now to Bradbury, back to Waldron. Can he go second 3 for the corner? Ben Waldron keeping Eltham in it. Knocks it in for 3, and now it's 5 points again.
Now he's just got to contain Kwani at the other end. He's going head-to-head with an NBL player here. He's just giving him a little bit of space as they're trying to ice that on ball.
Fox now looking for the dagger. Can't get it to fall. Josh Sykes rips it down.
McKay's running.
Sykes has 3 rebounds now. Doyle just inside the perimeter. Short did a good defensive job out of court. It'll be Ballarat ball from the baseline.
I think Doyle half shot it, half passed it then. It was put into 2 minds.
Well, when you have players that play above the rim, sometimes you just get a little
It's normally a safe bet too. It's normally a safe bet, but Ballarat's got the athleticism in the air that is usually unmatched.
So Doyle and Short, 2 NBL point guards. Now it's Acuth. Kwani has it now. Waldron fighting to stay on defence. Will probably foul, and it's 2 points plus 1 more.
It's interesting today because you sit there and they're icing those on balls, which, you know, they needed to do something different to the past because every time they've had Bradbury in the past showing on an on ball, it's forced rotations. Today they're icing, and the problem is you're sending Kwani at the rim, and it's proven to be a bit of an issue. Obviously, he's got a quick first step. Waldron struggled to go with it. It's be interesting to see whether they revisit how they're defending Kwani off that on ball on the wing.
15 points does Kwani, leading all the scorers across both teams. Bradbury is the top scorer for Eltham with 12. What can Eltham do to stem the flow of Kwani's scoring? Now Waldron again, looking for his third 3 ball. There's a ways off.
Got a little bit creative then, I think. That's off balance, step back 3. It's probably not what we would have liked out of that scenario.
So Evans Jr. flicks it into Fox. McKay. Now Evans Jr. from 3. Evans Jr. knocks it in for 3. The pass came from Fox. And it's back out to 10.
Over Josh Sykes' hand. It's a tough shot. Got it to 10.
Josh Sykes now heading baselines. A foul called. It will be the 3rd team foul for Ballarat. The foul was on number 2. Evans Jr. It's his first personal foul. Tristan Fisher now subbing onto the court. in exchange for one Kwani. Sykes makes the first.
Takes him to 5 points.
Justin Ava ready to come back onto the court at the interchange gates for Eltham.
Rolls out.
So back in the hands of Ballarat. 9 points now. It was 7 at quarter time, 8 at half time, now 9 points the difference. Waldron and McKay combining for defence. Fox kicks it out. Evans Jr. looking for another three, and he knocks it down from the corner this time. Evans Jr. coming alive in this third quarter.
That takes Evans Jr. to 10.
Waldron fighting through the bumped cutters. Now, what does he decide to do? Turns back to the basket. 2 points for Ben Waldron. A really delicate finish there from Ben Waldron.
Waldron out to 13 points now. He's scored 10 this quarter. Likewise, Evans has gone for 8.
Being forced to fight with some level of difficulty at the defensive end. Sue
Evans
looking for his
again.
third three.
Doyle picked the wrong one.
They get another 10 seconds or so on the shot clock to work with.
There's that show from Bradbury at the perimeter.
Sam Short, far too short. Another offensive rebound here, this time for Evans Jr. Fox! Can't get the slam to go. In the end, it was Evans Jr. with the 2 points. Now has 12. 12 is the margin. Bradbury sets the pick, rolling to the basket now. Doyle just inside the perimeter, puts it in for 2.
Just classy when he does that, isn't it?
3 substitutions waiting to come on the court for Eltham. Haven't had to stop in a little while. Fisher heading baseline. A couple of defenders there. Josh Sykes gathers the ball. Quick transition opportunity here.
On ball again.
Not a great pass really from Sykes.
Doyle
Not a great
finds
pass
the hot
really
hand
from
of
Doyle.
Waldron.
Now Sykes. Go on. He takes it from 3. Too long. Bradbury fights for it.
He's hit a couple this season. Josh probably overthought that one a little bit. The couple he's hit this year have just have been catch and shoot scenarios. But he's got better at it. It's improved this year.
Evans Jr. ways off, comes down. Another offensive rebound for Fox, who heads baseline. No foul call. Now a foul call. No basket counts. It'll be Fox will head to the line for 2. Fouls on 35. Simon Bradbury.
I was going to say, I think Bradbury's starting to look a little fatigued. He's needing a breather.
So he heads to the bench.
That's a couple of offensive rebounds that have been within reach that he just hasn't been able to get a hand to when otherwise he may have done so.
Waldron heads to the bench. Interestingly.
He's had the hot hand, hasn't he?
And so he makes the first at the free throw line as Fox, who now has 12 points. And he makes it 13. Substitution taking. It's Dunmore who enters the court for Fisher. And a couple of handy minutes there is Fisher. 12 points is the margin once again. Kwani applying the defense to Adam Doyle. Sykes rolls to the top, hands it straight back off to Doyle. And now Shafford in the corner looking for a 3, bounces high. Big rebounders come in, it was a Kuth who gathered it in the end. And now it's Kwani again. 2 minutes or so remaining here in this third quarter. 12 points is still what separates. Justin Ava forced to match up against Fox, heading baseline. Evans Jr. Sykes came in, falls hard. And in the end,
Hold on.
it's a Kuth with the slam.
I think it might have been a stray elbow or something. It's hit Ovie too from Josh. Josh has taken a heavy fall, but collected McBeggar on the way down.
Quite gingerly is Josh Sykes. He's not exactly
Might be some work for Cairo Brett Cole this week.
He's not indifferent to hitting the deck as Josh Sykes. He has found himself there a few times throughout this season. And he does so again then. Shafford kicks it to Ava now. 14 points is the difference. Shafford heading inside.
Read that well. Read the defence
well done by Shafford. He had to get it over the hands of not only his own defender, but Akuth, who was closing in. He managed to do so.
Almost an Adam Doyle-esque hesitation on that move.
Yep. Evans Jr. with the back cut. Ava keeps an eye on him, and now Dunmore once again puts it in for 3. He has 9 points now.
He was a class act in that first quarter, Dunmore, from memory. We're out at 15, getting that dangerous territory for Eltham. They've competed well.
That's not going to help. Eltham have a bit of trouble with their passing this season, I think. Just from the start through till now, a couple of straight passes, which has just let their opposition off the hook. And that was another one there. So now it's Miners once again with the ball. Lingard gives it off to Fox. Now Dunmore hit a throw on the last possession, looking to make a second one. Hello! And all of a sudden, it's out to 18 points. A really strong performance in this third quarter by the Miners. Eltham not looking entirely impressive. Now it's Adam Doyle, goes back on the left. What does he decide to do? Pulls up, shoots it over the defender. Evans
3 seconds,
the rebound.
1.
Pulls up from 3. Kwani! Can't get it to go.
That would have been an absolute dagger.
Yeah.
Look, it's a really disappointing last 2 or 3 minutes from Eltham there. I think for the most part they've hung around. I'm surprised there was no time out late in that third just to settle things down. But you see the class of that Ballarat team there. Jerry Evans Jr. early in the third, making some tough buckets. Dunmore coming out and going back-to-back triples. And that's probably the difference, is you get the Ballarat team of competed, and then they've got a couple of class acts that can knock the shot down consistently, where the Eltham team, probably at the other end, had a couple of open threes and open looks and didn't put them down.
You got the feeling coming out after half-time that the intensity had lifted ever so slightly. And it probably was a bit like that for half of that quarter. And then towards the end, it was a couple of, missed passes or Ballarat just capitalising on open looks. And in the end, it all of a sudden went from what was as little as 4 or 5 points.
I think when we were waiting there for those 3 subs to come in, there was a couple of offensive looks that Ballarat got a couple of those second chance opportunities where Eltham team did look fatigued. And then however, when the subs were made, they probably didn't finish at the rate they needed to, and Ballarat hit a couple of clutch shots overhand. But look, Eltham would be disappointed, I think, that 2 to 3 minute spurt. But for the most part, they've done a great job competing. It's that class of Ballarat has shone at the right time.
Ballarat out rebounding Eltham 30 to 23, including 11 to 7 on the offensive ends. And Eltham have 9 turnovers to Ballarat's 6. They're both shooting around 50% from the field. So once again, the good shooting continues. 3-pointers, well, Ballarat shooting 50% from the perimeter, which is what you want. 8 of 16. Eltham just 31%, 4 from 13. So Ben Waldron hit a couple in that third quarter, but other than that, haven't been entirely impressive from the perimeter. Waldron leads the scoring for Eltham with 13 points. For Ballarat, it's Kwani who has 15, Fox with 13, Evans Jr., who I thought had a really solid third quarter there. Evans Jr. has 12 points. Fox has pulled down 8 rebounds. Simon Bradbury leading the rebounding for Eltham, but Simon Bradbury probably a little fatigued, and now he's on the bench. So we start this final quarter, 18 points the difference. Whelan, Sykes, Ava, McKay and Shafford are the 5 for Eltham. For Ballarat, it's Evans Jr., Dunmore, Kwani, Fox and Akuth, according to my notes, although that doesn't look correct. It's actually Evans Jr., Kwani, Fox, Lingard and Dunmore who are on court at the moment. Foul called.
It's that physicality Fox has over Ava.
And now in the corner, Dunmore again.
You can't lose sight of a bloke who's just gone on back-to-back triples. But sure enough, we did.
And now Ava looking to replicate that at the other end, does so, knocks it in for 3.
So Dunmore is now 5 of 5 at the three-point line. That's not a bad day out. Nope. Even more reason why you just can't lose sight of him, regardless of whether you're in the zone or not.
Evans Jr. falls to the ground. Lingard comes to pick up the crumbs, puts it in for 2. Whelan forced to fight for the ball. Kwani comes to apply the defence. Whelan now.
I see Eltham maintain their composure here because
foul called underneath. It'll be Eltham ball. Sykes hits the deck again. Foul called on Lingard for Ballarat.
We've spoken this year. You've got to get contact on Sykes to take away the athleticism. But for poor Josh Sykes, the challenge is that when he's in the air, if there's contact, he's going to take a heavy fall. To the credit, the referee's called it.
He gets a long way in the air. Ava just struggling to hold on to the ball, manages to do so. 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Whelan looks for McKay. It wasn't a great pass, and in the end, it was Evans Jr. who got the ball. Shafford, high defence, and now Sykes hits the deck again. Fox with the ball. Whelan matches up to him. Shafford approaches Kwani, and now Evans Jr. elects not to take the 3 inside because Lingard was there, and McKay fouls.
It's a young and inexperienced group on the floor here for Eltham. I don't mind it. Probably without outside of reach of winning it. But as we say that, Mitch Lee comes in for McKay, but Mitch will just provide a little bit more strength in that 4 spot.
So Lingard at the line, can't make his first. He has 7 points so far. Makes it 8 with his second free throw. So it's out to 21 points. Just 8 minutes plus change remaining in this final quarter. Shafford with the ball. Sykes sets a high pick. Shafford taking a shot, puts it in for 2 points. Shafford has 13 now. A great return for Shafford.
It's been there've been better looks for him. They haven't seemed forced today.
Dunmore does more. He has 6 threes. $18 points for Dunmore, all in the form of 3 balls. Whelan now heading underneath. Travelling violation called. The point won't count. So Ballarat regained possession.
So Dunmore is 6 of 7 from the field. And he dared to shoot one from inside the perimeter, and that was his miss. Just 19 years of age, Zachary Dunmore has averaged 3.7 points a game going into this one.
Well, for what they've lacked from other players, as Josh Sykes gets a hand on that 3 ball, what they've lacked from other players, they've found 18 from one Zachary Dunmore.
I'm guessing he probably wasn't high on the scout report for Coach Lee at the start of the game, Whelan.
Sam Whelan puts it in for 3. Has 5 points now, does Whelan. But still 19 points is what separates.
Yes, I'd be taking space away from Dunmore at the moment, wouldn't you?
Rims out. Almost an offensive rebounds for Evans Jr., but Josh Sykes managed to pluck it out of his hands. Now Shaffett looking for another three.
Now, I said before, it doesn't look like he's forced it today and he's got results, but geez, then he goes and does that.
Yeah.
That's a disappointing look.
Simon Bradbury looking to come back on the court at mid-change gates, and now it's Evans Jr. Looks to Dunmore, who, as I said, has 18 points, 6 free balls. Now a Kuth, elbow. Can't get it to go. Lee pulls down the rebound. So back to Whelan, now Ava. Ooh, is that a cross court?
Awfully close.
Yeah. Anyways, Whelan gives it to Shaffett. He has Dunmore for defense. Ava left open. He should get a 3 chance. Can't get it to go.
That's the difference, isn't it? They're the one Ballarat have been hitting those open shots, and Eltham just haven't had the consistency to make them, unfortunately.
Evans to Lingard. And Dunmore puts in his 7th 3 for the afternoon.
He, on his own, will get in the top 10 plays, I would have thought, just for his 7 threes.
Thoroughly deserves it.
7 of
points,
7.
19 years of age. What a return he has had this afternoon. Whelan off the glass, puts it in for 2.
Oh, you grab the ankle then.
Sam Short re-enters the court. Sam Wheeler now has 7 points.
Hopefully for Sam, just one of those little stingers.
Well, last weekend he had his groin injured, and this weekend it looks like he's hurt his ankle a little bit.
Is he 21 or 41?
The latter.
No, good on him. Good to see him getting a couple of shots away today. Yep, no space for Dunmore on that one.
Evans Jr. gives it to a Kuth. A bit of contact results in a foul. It'll be 2 free throws. I wonder if Tommy O will make an appearance this afternoon.
Well, you'll notice him sitting as close to the coaches as he possibly can, Mr. O'Connor. He'll be just saying to Chris Cameron next to him, come on, mention it to the coach. Give me a look.
Nudges.
Give me a look. Great to see the referees. Jessica Baker with a pink whistle today too. Right in the spirit of Breast Cancer Network Australia. As is Ian Knight.
Ava gives it to Whelan, back to Ava now, fading away, throws it up, knocked out of
shot.
No, kept in court rather. Lingard, the beneficiary.
Where's Dunmore? Get him another look.
Can Dunmore make an 8th 3? No, gives it to Evans Jr. looking to make a 3 of his own. Foul called.
It took arm, you can't complain about that. It's more frustration, I think, than anything else.
And it'll be Evans Jr. heading to the free throw line for 2. As Mitch Lee racks up his 2nd personal foul. It's the 4th team foul for Eltham, which will only add to frustrations.
Lines up for the 2nd. And makes it. And the 3rd.
14 points for Evans Jr.
And we're at to 24 points. You certainly wouldn't have predicted this in the first half.
Probably would have predicted it pre-game.
We would have predicted it pre-game, but I thought the effort of Eltham in that first half, but was expecting separation off the screen there, and it didn't happen. It results in a turnover.
Dave Shaffett. Oh, the sub is not off the court yet.
Oh, that's a rookie error. All in good fun. She knows she's getting mentioned about it, though. We're getting a smile our direction. We have fun. Referees have done a great job.
Yeah, throughout the season, and of course
it
this
has.
afternoon too.
It's been extraordinary, the standard, hasn't it? It's great. It's really, really good to see the NBL, WNBL referees mixing it with the next level. And those people getting a chance. Dunmore, why not?
Freeze 8-3, Dunmore! Zachary Dunmore is putting on an absolute show with his 8-3.
and you've got a 5-man dribbling the ball at an on-ball around a 4-man, and we're getting an illegal screen. Rarely are we going to see that scenario.
Well, we knew we would have some unexpected scenarios occur this afternoon.
Now,
And
Mitch Lee, not unlike his father, likes to share his point of view on referee calls. Troy Earl just smiles at him as we play on.
Short with the ball. Whelan forced to make his way around a Couth with those long legs. And now a mid-range jumper. It's Lingard who finishes. He has double figures now, 10 points for Lingard. Waldron gives it to Ava. No foul called. Bradbury inside. Waldron, long three.
From Waldron. He went off, and when he was having a bit of a hot streak earlier, he got taken out, which was a bit of a surprise, but good to see him back and making that.
Ballarat are shooting 58% from the perimeter.
Well, this guy, he dared to track inside the three-point line. Don't know what that was about. Give someone else a go, and they've missed it. Bradbury, unfortunately, out of court.
Dunmore, 24 points. He's leading. His next best scorer for Ballarat is Kwani with just 15. What a performance from the young 19-year-old.
Shot 70% from the three-point line going into today, so I don't have the full details on that, but
Has a hand.
that's going to go through the roof after today.
Short, throws it up and gets it to go.
A floater from almost the short corner.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're out to 28 points. That's a moving screen. You cannot complain about that. There is
Moving
no
screen
doubt.
called, and Mitch Lee has his 4th personal foul.
That's a little unnecessary.
Mitch Lee noted as the captain this afternoon with his 4th foul. Ava almost got the steal. The pass back from Waitman was no good.
Just wanted to make sure in this last 2.5 minutes the focus stays on the game. Just some stupid decisions by some Eltham players to finish out this game in the last few minutes, which is disappointing. We've done a great job for 2.5 quarters, and I want to make sure we finish this off.
So it's Akuth to Short. Back to Akuth, who slams it down with authority. Waldron now gives it to Bradbury. Delicate finish, puts it into the 2. Ballarat are a side that are averaging around 95 points per game, exceeding that this afternoon with 102. Dunmore misses his first 3 of the afternoon.
8 of 9.
8 of 9. Can't believe he missed
Now,
it.
for the record, 5 minutes through the third quarter, Ballarat was kept to 62 points. Now, that's the kind of game that we kind of had hoped. I mentioned earlier, I think Eltham defensively could go with them. They contained them. I think 62 within 2.5 quarters is a good place to be. Since then, we've seen them load on 40 points.
Yeah.
In almost a quarter and a half. And that's unfortunately, that's exactly the way Ballarat want to play. The discipline from the defensive end for Eltham is gone. They're throwing turnovers away like that, some silly fouls, and they're playing straight into Ballarat's hands. It's how they want to play the game.
A lot of heads in hands over on the Eltham bench. It's transpired in a way that was quite unfortunate after what was a close game for almost 2.5, 3 quarters.
You know, I think, if you lose the way it was going, if you lose by that 12, 14-point margin, given the experience that Ballarat have on their roster, I think Eltham walk away with their heads up high.
Yeah.
The way this last period has transpired would be disappointing.
Lingard at the line, can't make his first. Can't make the second either, but easy as you like. Akuth gathers an offensive rebound. Moving to Waitman, now Dunmore. Dunmore spots Akuth backing his way in. Travelling violation should be called and is called by the referee.
Good rotation from Waldron.
Bradbury just making some room for himself. Gives it to Ava. Ava now cuts his way through. Bradbury underneath off the glass, puts it in for 2 points. That's what Simon Bradbury can do.
That's interesting. You wouldn't have seen him do any of that sort of thing at Big V last year.
No.
You know. He's done well to this level, Bradbury, for the most part.
Has 16 points to Simon Bradbury as he gathers his 9th rebound. Chance for a double-double. Ava hits the deck.
Good patience from Waldron. Finds Ava getting down the middle.
Foul called on Waitman.
Seven points for Ava. Back to 24. Just that offensive end continues to be the issue for Eltham. Just not able to get enough points away.
I think Whelan caught one in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they just feel there's probably been 2 or 3 since Eltham got called for. I think Eltham feels there might be a couple that have gone the other way. They haven't been picked up in the same way, but...
So, Ava gives it to Bradbury, looking for some last-minute points. Can't get it to fall.
We're effectively into the last shot here with 17 seconds remaining.
It's a foul call, it should be, and it's an unsportsmanlike on Akuth, who just quite stupidly pushed Ava unnecessarily. He was trying to force his way around a screen.
Just one too many, I think, there, wasn't it? There's a couple of them who feel like they've got caught on the legs or the hips, the elbows of Ballarat screens, and they've got the tangle.
Regardless of how frustrating you are, with 12.8 seconds left, I don't know why you would even do that, but nonetheless he did, and now it's Ava who will head to the free throw line. Makes the first. And the second, so 24 points, 12.8 seconds remaining. Eltham, you'd say, with the final possession. Ben Waldron has the ball on the right hand, puts it up. Ballarat now in the hands of Tristan Fisher. Time expires, and it is the Ballarat Miners who continue their winning record, 7-0 now. Win by 24 points over an Eltham Wildcat side who showed signs for 2.5 quarters of the game. Sort of came unstuck towards the end there, and Ballarat runaway victors.
Yeah, look, full credit. Well, we said from the outset it was more Ballarats to lose than anything else. From an Eltham perspective, you would have been happy halfway through the third quarter. 10 points difference and putting in a real competitive show. And then it was really a small period there in the at the end of the third, but then also in period of the fourth where Ballarat just dominated, absolutely dominated, and Eltham lost their way. A little bit caught up on other matters. Ballarat was able to exploit it, and that really was the difference. I think 24 doesn't truly reflect today's game, I don't think. But Dunmore, 8 of 9 at the three-point line. That was absolutely extraordinary. And I said there at stages, every time Eltham looked to make a little bit of a run and come back within 4, 5, 6 points. Ballarat had the talent to put a couple of shots down and extend the lead.
Under the guidance of coach Brendan Joyce, Ballarat walk away after this doubleheader weekend with a 7-0 record. They sit at the very top of the ladder. Eltham, on the other hand, with another loss of 2-7. They're just struggling to get a win over the last few weeks and went down by 24 points this week. If we look at our stat sheet momentarily, it was scoring leaders. Simon Bradbury had 16. Ben Waldron also had 16 for Eltham. Shafford at 13 with a couple of nice shots there as well. On the other end, it was Dunmore who had 24 points, 8 from 9 from 3. Kwani had 15. Evans Jr. had 14. Anything else you'd like to add to our broadcast before we head off?
No, I think I've said it all. Happy Mother's Day. Some of us have been locked down in basketball stadiums all weekend, as I'm sure there are many of us in that scenario, so looking forward to having dinner tonight. And disappointing finish today, but full credit to Ballarat, an outstanding team, and deserve to be the record that they do.
Ballarat win both the women's and men's here at Eltham. Tough couple of losses for Eltham, but they will regroup, and they'll be back here at Eltham on the 26th of May, taking on Hobart. A chance for both sides there. Two teams I think will match up quite well, and you should definitely tune in then, because this NBL1 season is just getting started. It was a 24-point win for the Ballarat men, as well as the Ballarat women who got up earlier on. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Tyson Whelan, joined by Greg Jeffers again, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Till then, happy Mother's Day and goodbye.
Thank you.